Y'all, lady just received 10 years for lying on her Section 8 application. Lied. Now, don't ask me how she did it, but she was on Section 8 for 3 years before they caught on to her. This woman done got 10 years. Now, imagine lying to provide a stable environment for your kids. Just to provide a stable environment for your kids. And now, you can't even be a part of your kid's life. Y'all, I think more people should be disciplined for lying on paper. Stop putting yourself in situations where you have to be taken away from your kids. It's like people was going to go get them stimulus checks. It's like people was going to go get lying on a food stamp application. That's a federal crime. Lady, you lied on your Section 8 application in order to get a place to live, and now you have to go spend 10 years of your life in federal prison? Y'all, this is heartbreaking, man. It's too many women out here, man, single as it is, and the fathers is absent. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Asking for bank statements now as well as Uber, DoorDash income proof, and they do follow up on tips about.
So she's actually replying to a comment, it looks like, where the comment says, I heard they asking for bank statements now, as well as, of course, your Uber, your DoorDash income, your basically your proof of income from some of your side hustles. And then she's saying they also do follow up on tips about you as well.
You. My God. We talking about housing, Section 8 and stuff like that. And I mentioned on that video that back in the day, I was on house. But let me tell y'all the story time I thought about this when I was like them following up tips on you. One time, okay, basically when I was in high school, I was getting ready to graduate.
Before we get on the following up tips on you, I want to address what this brother said real quick as far as the lady receiving 10 years for lying on her Section 8 application. And one of the main points he made, which was a really good point, was the fact that you taking short-term chances that are ultimately going to have long-term consequences. And listen, if you want to have consequences on yourself, that's one thing. And hey, do you. I don't really care. But when we're talking about long-term consequences that's going to affect your kids, especially when we see that a lot of people are choosing to be single mothers. So you're choosing to be the sole person for these kids, but then you're taking prison chances. And just see, people think just because the government typically doesn't execute on what it can as far as prosecution for fraudulent activity, they think because it doesn't happen to everybody that it can't happen to them. And it sounds like what this woman found out is that it's going to happen to you. That's very surprising that they did, honestly, even in my perspective. But he brought up a great point. I think most people that we see are not thinking long term about the things that they're doing. And I think that's how they end up in these situations anyway, right? The first indication is the most obvious. You chose to have kids and clearly you couldn't take care of them. So that already shows you don't have a long term outlook. I think that's kind of what the point that he was making. You're not even thinking now, you're not even going to be with your kids. You're using government assistance to take care of your kids. Now, how are you going to be able to take care of your kids in jail? Right? So, y'all, but before we get back into that next clip, though, if you all can like the video, I would greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And it's literally just a click, literally just a click. So, if you're here anyway, you might as well click that like button. And also, if you can hype the video as well.
Now the story time I thought about this when I was like them following up tips on you. One time, okay, basically when I was in high school, I was getting ready to graduate, and I was a teenage mother, and I moved into an apartment which these people that it was a program. It was called Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. They were like a mentor for us young girls that was like, young teenage parents. And I was doing so well in school. I was about to go to college and all this and that. And actually, a few of the mentors was like, I'm so proud of you, about to graduate, and stuff like that. So they's like, I think you deserve your own place. So they helped me get in my own place. I'm talking about paid for the deposit on the gas, the lights, and all that. And I hadn't even graduated school yet. It was in my senior year. Um, just thinking about that, there was some beautiful like, yeah. I'm just thinking back, like just struggles and stuff that I went through. Either way, so I'm in my own place. I'm feeling good and proud and stuff and all that. Then I got me a job and blah 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 blah. Blah, got a car, all that stuff, right? However, after I moved from there, I stayed there probably got about a good year and a half. Um, and I just wasn't feeling it, the place, the environment. So I went to a house. Then it was too much for me because I couldn't afford it. And at that time the rent was $280 a month. And baby, because I went from paying $30 a month to $280, and then I stayed in that house. Probably I toughed it out to about the lease ended for about a year, and then I moved to these other apartments. Now check this out. I didn't know. Well, let me tell you this. Me and this chick was beefing.
Man, I tell you, man. She had $30 rent. Her rent was $30 at one point. Then she said it went to $280, which is still nothing. But she was like, man, that's almost 8%. I mean, 700, 800% increase. So it was substantial to her. But my thing is, man, you had $30 rent. I mean, how sweet you think it's going to be for how long? And it, arguably, it was still sweet. $280 for your rent. But now it sounds like she got into some drama. I'm going to be honest. I don't understand how you can get in any drama when your rent's that low. Listen, man, if my rent's low like that, can't nobody tell me nothing. Nothing's going to phase me. I'm going to be on a high and I'm going to be blissful at all times if I'm getting taken care of to that degree.
And then I stayed in that house. Probably I toughed it out to about the lease ended for about a year, and then I moved to these other apartments. Now check this out. I didn't know. Well, let me tell you this. Me and this chick was beefing, right, over, and basically she was.
Over a dude, over a man. Her and a chick was beefing over a man. Funny enough, allegedly, allegedly. Funny enough, how you in destitution? How you on Section 8 and you got time to be beefing with a chick over a man? How is that how you're using your energy? This stuff is just so wild. How are you in poverty? See, I hear a philosophy sometimes where it's like you shouldn't date if you're broke. They definitely have that philosophy for a man. But I don't know if, well, me personally, I don't mind double standards in some places, in some areas. But, everybody likes to cut things down the middle and be fair all the way across the board these days. So, as a woman, you shouldn't be dating either if you broke. But definitely not. I think we can all agree, definitely not if you got kids and you're in poverty. Should you be what most people say you should be dating, right? Now let's take that a step further. Should we be dating? Excuse me. Should we be sitting here not competing, but fighting over a man if we're in poverty with kids with another woman? Take the woman man thing out of it. Should we be fighting over a man if we're on Section 8 government assistance and we have kids? Yeah, but it really doesn't matter because actually, for a lot of people, they don't plan on ever getting rid of it. So of course they're still going to go through everything that everybody goes. They're still going to go on vacations because Section 8 is a lifestyle. And so obviously she got off of it. But I'm just saying, I mean, who knows how long she was on it? But ultimately, at least when people are in it, a lot of times they're not looking at it as far as something that they ever want to relinquish, especially when their rent is $30.
It is. Me and this chick was beefing, right, over, and
A dude.
Basically, she was calling up to the office, telling the woman up there, didn't know the woman cool with me, because look, y'all, I got the gift of gab, and I could talk. Like, I be talking. And so the woman in the office is cool with me. And one day I went in and she said, my real name is Valencia. She was like, Valencia, it's a woman call up here saying that I need to put you out because you got a man staying there and knowing that he probably on your lease. And I was like, what? She's like, and I'm like, Valencia is not on housing. And then at the moment I'm saying to myself, these apartments is housing. I didn't even know I was paying the full rent. You know what I'm saying? And like she was like, I told her, but she keep constantly tried. A woman I was beefing with was trying to get me put out. Didn't know I ain't even on no housing. You know what I'm saying? That I was.
It sounded like you didn't even know you wasn't on housing. Okay, so are you saying that the 280 wasn't Section 8 rent? How old are you, ma'am? I mean, goodness gracious, what was this, the 1800s? When rent was only 280? With no housing voucher? It's possible she could have been getting another localized type of assistance program. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe things was that cheap. She doesn't look that old to where we're going that far back when the rent is just nothing. But hey, we'll take it, I guess. Maybe I missed something within the story.
Housing probably like a good year and a half. And when I left, I didn't look back. And I mean, it's a great stepping stone. It really is, Lord knows. And then, as we get older, sometimes you might have to get on that, like going to assistant. Well, what they call it when they do your rent, or well, if you're not a homeowner,
Section
but
8.
subsidize. That's what it was that I had moved, and I didn't even know. So,
Ma'am, I thought you had to give the gap. So you had the word subsidized housing, ma'am. Or Section 8. I'm just joking. But yeah, subsidized housing, Section 8.
that I had moved, and I didn't even know. So when I was like, what? So basically, if I lose my job, I ain't gotta worry about it getting put out. Cause I just go tell them I ain't got no job no more. But that never happened. Either way, I stayed there in that apartment complex probably like 5 years. I loved it. My daughter was getting older and she wanted her own room, because it was a 2-bedroom at that time. My daughter and my son, they shared a room. They could share rooms until they get a certain age. I don't know is it still like that? Either way, ain't that something? Hey Ness, ooh, we all right now, but that's another thing. You know how you be beefing with people, and then you grow older, and you be like, we was beefing over nothing. I done seen us throughout the years, and we look at each other, we just laugh, and I know that's weird. Probably some people like. That's old. You get older, y'all don't have that animosity towards, because especially when it be over, man. Asking for bank statements now as well as.
Yeah, especially that. And I would, it's funny. Let's stick there for a quick second because she said she was beefing over a man. I would bet this isn't even her child's father because she already had a kid or at least kids. I mean, excuse me, at least a kid or kids. And I would bet you it wasn't even the baby father. This is a new dude. So it's like, even if you weren't on Section 8, it sounded like to me that you didn't even know that you wasn't on it no more. So that means that you were still under the impression that you were receiving Section 8 and you had the bandwidth to be fighting over a man. And you have kids already. Priorities just down the drain. Just down the drain.
Let me say this. I did not have a rags to riches story from Section 8. I did not come out
How long did she say she was on there?
I did not have
It says she was on the program for about 3.5 years.
a rags to riches story from Section 8. I did not come out of here a homeowner. I did not come out of here with bands, none of that stuff. I don't know how it is now, but back when I was on it, you could not save. Anything that you had in your account over like a certain amount and was considered income, and it could raise your rent prices. So I was not able to save. And even if I was able to save, I didn't because I ain't had the money to save. But what I did do was every time I got my tax refund check, I was able to put that towards my credit card debt. So when I left the program, when they stripped everything from me after I graduated and got my job, I left out of there with $0 in credit card debt. So while I was not driving Mercedes
Hold on.
and BMW,
Watch the language now. Watch the language.
left the program, when they stripped everything from me after I graduated and got my job,
When they stripped everything from me when I graduated and got my job. Ma'am, didn't you say you was on the program for almost 4 years? You graduated, you got your job. Why did you frame it from the standpoint that they stripped everything from you? Does that make sense? You should have said I graduated from it or something. They stripped everything from me. Ma'am, you was on it for almost 4 years. Be glad you were using it at the time when you were, because now people are only going to be able to have it for 2. So you had it for double the time that anybody moving forward is ever going to have it for. And you're framing it as they stripped everything from me. And you just said you graduated and got a job. I pay attention to these things because these things matter. The way when you say things like that, because it just sounds entitled.
from me after I graduated and got my job, I left out of there with $0 in credit card debt. So while I was not driving Mercedes and BMWs and had a new house or anything like that, I started at ground zero, which was a huge accomplishment for me because y'all gotta remember, I was literally $10,000 underwater.
Okay.
Not to mention I was fighting off a student loan company that was threatening to sue me because I could not pay my student loans at all. So it was just, I was down bad. For me, once I got to point zero, I was able to climb ahead. And I ain't even gonna lie to you, when I got off of the program, I was petrified. We had every wraparound service that you could think about. And when they took that away from me, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it, but I did. And I am. Is it still some bumps in the road? Absolutely. But I was able to get a great job. I was able to get in some affordable housing that wasn't subsidized, of course, because I no longer qualify for anything. And years down the line, my credit worthiness, being able to finally contribute again to my retirement accounts, save money, actually led me to my journey to becoming a homeowner. It wasn't like instant. I didn't get off of Section 8 and went straight to being a homeowner. It was some years in between that, and it was some grit and it was some hard work that was put in there, but that was the story. And hopefully that was helpful to you. And
I think a lot of people, they don't want their life to be grit and be hard and be periods where they have to ultimately rely on themselves and ultimately get the outcomes for themselves. Because it's funny, she said what I always say. Obviously, she was very much dependent on this stuff, because she said after it was stripped from her or she lost it, she said she didn't know what to do, and she said she was scared out of her mind from losing her benefits, because she said she had every wraparound benefit there is. So that means, of course, she had food assistance, food stamp, SNAP. She had government assistance and whatever else she had that was allowing her to be able to sustain herself. And almost 5 years, almost 4 years, she became dependent on it to where after the fact, she had no debt. She had a college education and she had a job, and she was petrified. If that doesn't tell you everything you need, You couldn't be more well positioned than that. And she was still petrified. So that's what goes to show. Because she was part of the select few that's on the program and they're actually trying to improve their lives. So you can imagine the mentality of people who are on the program and they're not doing anything to better their lives, how they're looking at the program. They're looking at it like, I have to try to live off this by any means necessary.
Come with me to do an eviction walkthrough on this nice, bright, sunny day. Now, I can't give this tenant credit for mowing because I actually sent my son here earlier. It was a whole freaking jungle. So it's nice and crisp because Evan did it for me. This person was on Section 8. Everything was fine. And then they lost their Section 8 for whatever reason. And then was unable to pay after that. I'm anticipating a little bit of work here. This house, I should mention, was completely remodeled from top to bottom before they had it. So we'll see. Looks like we had a good time on the... She stinks. She don't smell great. Doesn't seem to be too bad though. You can see. Like I said, this was all redone before. Some scuffs on the floors. Let's see what we got going on here. If you're wondering, this was brand new carpet. Brand new. I can't even do it. I mean, it's obvious that there's been like dogs kept down here. Okay, we're gonna try again. Some scrap, things like that. Nothing of any importance or value. Definitely gonna need trashed out. Nothing major, but
what in the world?
It stinks so bad down here. Again, brand new floors. Looks like we've burnt something on them. Oh, check this out. You see the fans? Can you see that?
I've seen worse. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me speak something. If you on low income or Section 8 and you not working, or you don't have time to work right now because you probably got small kids, or you a man living with a woman and she on low income in Section 8, do the best thing for you. Take up a trade, take up schooling. It's a lot of stuff out here that you can get certified in that does not take that long. Not at all. There's phlebotomy, you can go to ranking. There's a lot of stuff that you can get certification in so you can get a really good job that doesn't take that much time. And if you a man and you with a woman and she on low income or Section 8 and you want to say, oh, well, I got charges and this, that, and the other, or I done been to jail, it still don't matter. There's things you can take up that you can be making good money off of and you can get some certification in. Ain't no way. A lot of you women, young women, sit around on low income in Section 8 and ain't doing nothing with that time. Baby, if you wanna...
Yep. Not doing nothing with that time. And that's been a problem for the longest. And that's why we have now the work requirements. And don't let the word work fool you. That doesn't mean that you necessarily have to work. You got at least 3 options. You can either work, and I think it's only 20 hours a week. People just like to look at the whole and try to make it seem like it's so impossible. 40-hour-a-week work weeks are the average for most jobs, and most people still have to work more than that. And you'll have people complaining about having to work a 20-hour work week. And then they'll even say, well, we're already working. Why do you think we're not working? Okay, well, then that's a very low standard. So it shouldn't be hard to maintain that, but you're going to have to maintain that. But you only got to work 20 hours a week, which if you work 5 days a week, it's just 4 hours out of your 24 in that day. Come on now. As well as you can also do what she just said. You can do job training. If you don't want to work, or if you can't work, you can do job training like what she just said. And you can pick up some skills that can have you well positioned for when your voucher expires. And that's still not it. You can also volunteer. That's the third thing. You can volunteer. And you think they just cut government jobs or other things? They cut a lot of things. They cut a lot of nonprofits' federal funding as well. So what that means is, shoot, all hands on deck. They could use some help. So that means there's going to be anywhere just about that you can call, and they're going to accept your volunteer hours. And so you can actually be contributing to society, since ironically, society's contributing to you. Beautiful. But the days of just doing nothing, which is ultimately just being unproductive, that's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Low income in Section 8 and ain't doing nothing with that time. Baby, if you want to do something positive, go to school. Go to school and get certified in some stuff. So when you have to come up off a low income of Section 8, you can get you a job. Walgreens, Walmart, quit going to them places and asking them to get you a job in bagging. They certify you if you work for them in prescriptions.
Yeah, I mean, she made great points. Great points. But I think we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you can hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels. So that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice, if you want to hype, to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video. And also, if you want to become a member of the channel, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments, where it will show people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and also exclusive content that's not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, join buttons on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.